The Blue Jays get back into the win column after, a very good pitching performance and a really good defensive performance from the Blue Jays all together at Nationals Park in Game 1 of the 2-game set and then the home and home. So we were playing in Washington. So it's technically a 4-game series. Jays win Game 1, 4-1 this evening, and there is a lot I want to get to today. First off, let's start with things that we heard before the game. Randall Grichuk feeling a bit better, but again, there's no rush to get him back into the lineup, so they're going to take their time. It would not surprise me if he does not play again, or at all, in the National Series, and you see him in the series afterwards, unless it's something more serious than that. As for Ken Giles, they put him on the injured list. They said he's feeling a bit better, but I mean, really, they put him on the IL for a reason. He's going to be out some time, so the Jays got to find a way to get that back end of the bullpen figured out. And Anthony Bass did a really good job today. We'll get to him a little later on. And about 10 minutes before the game, you saw the lineup card. Okay, it looks about the same. No Bo Bichette to start the game, and that was very nerve-wracking for Jays fans because instantly, when a player is in the lineup and leaves the lineup, it scares them because of COVID. No. That's instantly people's thought. No, minor hamstring issue. You don't want to push the guy too far because they clearly pushed Giles too much, and look where he is on the IL, and you don't want to do that to Bo Bichette. So they sit him for the ball game. Teoscar Hernandez takes his place in the leadoff spot, and oh my goodness, it doesn't disappoint. Very first at-bat of the ball game, second pitch. Teoscar Hernandez takes the 0-1 pitch from Anibal Sanchez and crushes into right center field, and it's gone. The Jays lead at 1-0 extremely early in this game. But that's been a theme for the Blue Jays, getting the lead. Other than the one Tampa game where they lost 4-1. But the other three, they've had leads. So that's not been the issue. But it's great. You get in front. 1-0. Fantastic. All right. Fast forward to the 4th inning. We'll get to the pitching later on. Rowdy Tellez, first pitch curveball down and in, which is usually his kryptonite. He's waiting for it from Sanchez, and oh my, Rowdy Tellez crushes it into the second deck. Right off the bat, you see it's long gone. Solo shot for Rowdy. Jays now up 2-0. Great job there. In the same inning, Danny Jansen, a 1-0 pitch from Anibal Sanchez. It's a cutter up in the zone, not where you want to throw those pitches. That's why I personally don't like the cutter, because if it's not a perfect pitch, you're going to get crushed because it's a slower fastball, and if it doesn't move and it's not in a good spot, that's not going to be good. But Jansen gets a hold of that upper pitch, and he crushes it to center field, and it's gone. The Jays have 3 solo shots so far in the ball game, and a 3-0 lead. Exactly what you want to see. Build this lead up. But we've seen this before. Last game against the Rays, you were up 4-0 and then blew it. So now let's see how the pitching holds up. All right, let's go to Trent Thornton, who started the ball game. And he only lasted 4 innings. And he gave up 8 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. The reason why he only lasted 4 innings is not because his pitch count was like 80. No, I don't think that was really the issue. But it was it was how hard those pitches were. How many of those pitches were in really tough situations, or how many, like 5, 6, 7 pitch at bats, right? Just grinding them out. The Nationals put up a lot of good fights and a lot of hard contact. Luckily for the Blue Jays, it was right at guys. But a really good job by Thornton to find a way to get through those innings, because the Jays fans, if you watched last year, first off, I tip the cap to you. Second of all, if you watched Trent Thornton last year, we all know that when he got in issues, when he got that bases loaded 1-out situation, he's caving in and giving up 3 or 4 runs. Not today. Not 2020 Trent Thornton. And that's what we saw today. He got in a lot of trouble, but he was finding ways to get out of it, and it kept the Jays in check offensively, because they weren't the greatest offensively today, other than some solo shots. But the pitching and defense was great because he got timely defense. The line drive, I think it was runner at first and third, nobody out. A line drive right at Brandon Drury. And we all know the question marks with Brandon Drury's offense, right? He strikes out a ton, and we're not too sure about him. But what we do know for a fact is defensively at third base, he is very good. Line drive right at him. He has to hop up for it, and his instinct, because he sees, I want to say it's Robles at first base, Victor Robles, kind of take off because he thinks it's going to be right into the outfield, no problem. He makes the catch, plants his feet, and throws a seed across to Vladdy, who makes the play. Great job there. 2 out now, and a guy at third. No more runs score. And that was in a big inning where I think for Trent Thornton, gave up that 1 run. So if you look at Trent Thornton's outing and the defense that he had behind him, look, good defense and good pitching wins championships. Period. You can have great offense, but if your pitching and defense sucks complete rear end, it doesn't matter. Look at the Jays back in the day. Look at the Orioles back in the day. Remember the Orioles and Jays used to play in like 11, 10 games? Hence why those teams were never in the playoffs. So the Jays, ridiculously good defense. Even Vladdy had a line drive right at him. Made the play and stepped on first to get the double play because the guy at first was off the base too much. Great play by Vladdy. You know, I understand, you know, he's going to have some mishaps here and there at first base. Don't expect him to be a gold glove guy right now because, well, first base is an easy position to play. It's not when you never play there. When you're so used to playing one spot and you flip, it's not easy to just pick it up and go with it. For me personally, I'm a second baseman. Whenever I play short, third, or rarely first, it's an adjustment. So for all these big league players, the guys like Ben Zobrist, who play all these positions and plays them well, I don't know how he does it. And it's fantastic to watch. So for a guy like Vladdy, don't expect him because he played third base, a much harder position, that he's going to be amazing at first. It's going to take some time for him to adjust. Now, keep throwing him out there. Let him go through the tough times because you got to do that. Now, let's keep going here, all right? Trent Thornton gave up the 1 run. It was an RBI double to Kurt Suzuki. And in the bottom of the 4th, but like I always say, on the defensive side of things, when you give up a run, when you score a run, you want to put up a 0 the next half inning. Well, it was the flip for the... Whoa, what just happened there? It was the flip for the Blue Jays there. That's what I was going for. And in the bottom of the 4th, Kurt Suzuki at the RBI double. In the top of the 5th, who comes up yet again? Teoscar Hernandez, a 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball downstairs, and you do not throw a fastball middle, anywhere. If you're going to throw a fastball to Teoscar Hernandez, you better throw it hard, and it's got to be like painting on a corner. And even then, it's difficult because Hernandez gets this 88-mile-an-hour fastball and crushes it. The sound of it was beautiful, and he crushed it basically the same spot as his first one, right center field, and it's gone. A 2-homer day for Hernandez. I mean, okay, so Bo Bichette going down with with hamstring injury might not have been the bad thing because Hernandez comes in and scores half the Jays' runs. But now, we have seen this before. A 4-1 lead late in a ball game. I was 4-0 against Tampa, but a 4-1 lead late in a ball game, your starter is now out. Okay? Now, how do the pitchers do after that? Well, A.J. Cole comes out, gives up 1 hit, no problem. Goes, gets a strikeout, nothing else doing. He's been great so far for me. I've loved what we've seen there. Then we see Ryan Borucki for the first time this year in real play, not inter-squad and exhibition garbage. Real baseball right now, and Ryan Borucki in the first inning looked really good. I mean, he was spotting his pitches nicely. I was really liking what I was seeing from Borucki in the first inning. The second inning, maybe not so much. He was missing a lot of pitches. Got one out, and Charlie's like, okay, you know what? The guy isn't pitching a real game, and well, if you want to discount last year because he only pitched 2 games and was bad, it was probably sore. It's been like a year, almost 2 years for Borucki, so let's just take it back a little bit. He went an inning in the 3rd, 1 hit, 1 walk, and a couple strikeouts. Didn't allow a run. Great job there. Now, Jordan Romano comes in to clean up that mess that Ryan Borucki left him. It was only 2 on and 1 out, so not a big situation. But Jordan Romano, as we've seen so far this year, in very small sample size, obviously, but has looked very, very confident, and I think that's big for him. He's got to use that fastball. When you can throw 96 to 98 and hit corners with, use it. And he didn't use it to start that inning, but once he did, he was getting outs. Went 2/3 of an inning, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Just a clean job for him to get out of that inning. Great job there. Rafael Delis has been a guy that has been really odd for the Jays because we heard so much about him in the offseason. We saw him in inter-squad, and we saw him in exhibition, and we're like, this guy's not too bad. All right. In the first few outings, he's been like, what the heck is this guy? Who is this guy? What happened to him? Today, much better. Now, I will get to a play in a second that it really jaw-dropping play for me personally. So he went an inning, no hits, 1 walk, no strikeouts, just a clean job for him. Now, in that inning, to end that inning, and it's a very important part in the ball game, right? You got my man at first, you know, what happens after that? If he gets on base, 2 on, tying run comes to the plate. For a guy who's lacking command right now, yikes. He gets a ground ball to short. Now, it was Joe Panic to start at short, to start the ball game, but in comes Santiago Espinal. And this is where I'm going to bring this up again about being a second baseman, and when you play other positions, it's very difficult. For Santiago Espinal, he's a natural shortstop. So yeah, he can play third, he can play outfield, he can play second, but for his home, in his mind, in his body, is shortstop. That'll always be the case for him. And I totally understand that, and you saw it on this play. He gets the hard hit chopper, and he picks it like it's nothing. A nice throw to second, on to first, double play, inning over. Beautiful play by the young kid. Look, back when this trade happened with Steve Pearce, I liked the trade. And then ever since then, I've been liking his play in the minor leagues with the Blue Jays. He's been nothing but good. And then seeing him in the inter-squad games, and then in the exhibition against Boston, and I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Espinal. Very small sample size that I've seen, but from what I see and the way he plays the game, I love it. Yeah, he grounded out and still doesn't have a hit in the big leagues. Did you see him hustling out of the box? That's what you love to watch. And it almost made Trey Turner throw it away. It had to be a scoop by Howie Kendrick at first. A great job by Espinal to get out of that. Then we go to the 9th inning. Anthony Bass out there looking for the save. And Giles can do yesterday because he was basically broken arm. But Anthony Bass, other than giving up the hard hit single to Trey Turner, who's just a freak in nature, did a great job, won an inning, gave up a hit, no walks, 1 strikeout, didn't allow a run. Ball game, gets the save. Blue Jays are now 2-2 on the season. It's much better when I actually watch the video. I can actually break things down like that for you. Now let's quickly go through the stats here real quick and wrap this baby up. Teoscar Hernandez obviously the big night to start his game. Great job. 2 for 5 in the ball game. Couple RBIs and 2 runs scored, of course. He's hitting .294. Very, very small sample size, of course. Kevin Biggio, guys, he had a streak of 32 straight games reaching base. That is over. That finished today. He went 0 for 4 in the ball game. Rough night for him. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 1 for 4. He had a rip double in the first inning there. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., this is definitely a game for him to forget, but a very, very nice sign to see at the end of the ball game where he hit that ball deep to center field. But against Anibal Sanchez and the other guy he faced, it was just not a very pretty ball game offensively for Vladdy. I thought defensively he looked pretty good. But it's just not a very pretty time for him there at the plate. Now, young players are going to have that. When they see a guy throwing slower, they're like, oh, let's crush this guy. But Anibal Sanchez has been there, done that for many, many years, and he knows how to work. He knows how to work young hitters. He knows how to work the strike zone, especially when this umpire had a pretty big strike zone for both teams. And Vladdy just started chasing, and it was just ugly to watch. All right, he's going to have those games. Rowdy Tellez, 1 for 3 in the game, had the home run, of course. Really good job for him. Only his first hit of the season, but a big one at that. And Danny Jansen, as I mentioned on the podcast with Mo and Rob, that, Danny Jansen is definitely the guy that I think is going to solidify himself as the number 1 catcher on this team. And he's had a very good start to his year. 2 for 4 in the ball game today with a rip single to center field in the home run. Had an RBI and a run scored, of course. And Derek Fisher, 1 for 3. Well, I wouldn't really say it's a 1 for 3. Adam Eaton kind of lost it in the sun, but he'll take the triple. He'll take that any day. Well, Derek Fisher. All right, and we already went through on the numbers stats-wise. Now let's go to tomorrow's ball game, all right? We're not going to go through the rest of the series. We're going to go to tomorrow's ball game only. 1 game at a time, people. That's all we can do. And for tomorrow's game, the Blue Jays got Tanner Roark going to the mound, facing his former team for the first time in Washington, D.C. And countering the Blue Jays is Austin Voth. He's the guy that's going to be pitching for the Nationals in tomorrow night's game. It's a 6:05 first pitch, just like this evening. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this. Wow, that was loud. That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and liked the game today, because it was a very good one, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, the video, everything towards this Blue Jays ball team and what you saw from today's game, the good, the bad, the in the middle. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. Go crazy. All right. Twitter's down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also Instagram link is down below. So if you have not followed up that page, go do so, guys. It's a great time. All right, so follow that link down in the description below. And also, if you've not checked out Blue Jays Center on Instagram, it was Blue Jays way before they changed it to Blue Jays Center. The podcast Blue Jays Banter on iTunes, guys. We've been doing quite a few episodes lately, and I'm assuming we're doing one again this week, breaking down the first week of Blue Jays baseball. Go check that out, guys. Blue Jays Banter on iTunes and Blue Jays Center on Instagram. All right, and I will talk to you guys Leafs edition tomorrow night. Is the Leafs? Wow, so many teams going on right now. The Leafs are finally back in action as they're an exhibition play against the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow night. All right, very excited to get that thing going again. And I don't think the Raptors are going on. I could be totally wrong, but I'll talk to you post-game after their final scrimmage game before their season resumes. And as for the Blue Jays, as I've mentioned, they take on the Washington Nationals in Game 2 of the 4-game set, even though it's a split home and home, playing still in Washington. So there's that. In Game 2, tomorrow night, 6:05 first pitch at Nationals Park. Tanner Roark facing his former team, Austin Voth on the mound for the Nationals. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.